Our tutorials for today is vectors, but we actually made a video on vectors, but today's topic for vector will be solving vector problems using our calculator. We'll be solving the cross product of the vectors we have here. We'll also be solving the dot product of two vectors and finding the angle between these vectors. So I would like us to neglect this, having vector A and vector B. Now, on solving vectors, our calculator has a function which is the vector function. You can as well do that by pressing the mode. 8 says vector, so we would press 8. Now we want to store the values for these vectors we have here into the vectors here. So for vector A, which is 1, vector A is 3 dimensions. So 1 says 3 dimensions, so press 1. We'll press 2 for the first part, which is the I component. We'll press -1 and press 4 for that, and make sure the 4 has appeared here to show that it has stored for that part of that vector. Now we can as well clear. Then we'll press our mode again, press 8, go to vector B, which is 2, and vector B also has 3 dimensions. We'll press vector B, 3 dimensions, which is 6, 3, and -4. Now we'll store the value, make sure it's also showing here. To find the cross product of these two vectors, we would press our shift, and we have a button here that shows vector, which is this 5 button, which is for vectors. And now we would press our vector A, which we have stored, vector A 3. Now we are looking for the cross product. Since we are looking for vector A times vector B, don't put vector B before multiplying it with vector A. Ensure to put vector A before multiplying it with vector B. We'll put our multiplication sign, and now we have our shift vector again, which is vector B times vector B, which is 4. Now doing that, we have the multiplication of these vectors to be this. Now using our calculators, we have been able to find the answer very quickly. Now this means for vector A times vector B, the cross product of vector A and vector B, we have a value here which is -8 for the first part. This is equals to -8, we have 32, and then we have 12. Now for the cross product of vector B and vector A, we'll say shift vector B, which is 4, times shift vector, we have a vector A, which is 3. Therefore our answer is equals to, we have 8, we have -32, and we have -12. If you look closely to the answers we have for vector A times vector B and vector B times vector A, there are slight differences, which is in the sign. This means we shouldn't, for any reason, put vector A before vector B if we are to multiply vector B times vector A. Now moving to the dot product. The vector component here has a part for dot product. So since we have vector A dot vector B, this will be shift vector A, and then we'll press our shift, we'll press vector again. 7 says dot, so that's the dot product, times shift vector of vector B, which is 4. This is equals to -7. The dot product of vector A and vector B is -7. When finding dot product, you won't have any of these components, you won't have any of these I, J, and K. Now finding the angle between A and B, the angle between A and B, this would be equals to, the angle between A and B is the cos of vector AB, which is equals to A dot B all over the absolute value of A times the absolute value of B. Now we would say for this we would get a calculator. For the numerator of this, we would say shift the vector, we'll put 3 vector A. Now there's a dot here, the dot product of vector A and vector B. We'll now press shift vector. Number 7 says dots. We press dot, shift, we have vector and then vector B. Now we'll press our division sign. There's no need to put this in bracket. We can just leave that division sign, then we open a bracket. Now, since this is the absolute value of vector A, there's a component here in this calculator that says the absolute value, which is the shift of the hypotenuse button of the high button, which is shift high button, which says apps of vector A. Then we'll press shift vector and we have 3 to be vector A. We close the bracket. Now this is multiplied by the absolute value of vector B. Shift the high button, absolute value of vector B, which is shift vector, and 4 says vector B. We close the bracket. Our answer here is the cos of that angle. Cos of that angle is equals to minus 0.1956 to 4 decimal places. Now, if we are to find the angle, that means we would divide both sides by cos. Dividing both sides by cos gives us that the angle is equals to the cos inverse of our answer, which is minus 0.1956. Now we would find the cos inverse of this. Since we have our answer to be minus 0.195579, we don't need to clear this again. We just say the shift of the cos of our answer. Therefore, our answer for the angle of AB is equals to 101.28 degrees. So using our calculators, we've been able to find the cross products of vector A and vector B, cross product of vector B and vector A, dot product of vector A and vector B, and also the angle between these two vectors.